Well, welcome back to Digital Product Profit Secrets, Part 2, with Jeff Smith. It's highertrustmarketing.com and infomarketerzone.com. Hey, welcome back. So we went through Part 1. If you missed that, you'll see a link just under this video. You need to go back to Part 1 and at least skim through it. I know it was quite involved and quite heavy, but it's extremely important to the success of your digital product business to be able to go through Part 1. Let's just do a quick review. In Part 1, we talked about the importance of having your own digital products and how critical that was to your future, no matter what type of career, job, or business that you're building, how important it is. And we talk about some pretty big names online that you may not have thought of as digital product owners or creators, and in fact, how important that was to their business. We talked about some key people like Grant Cardone, Gary Vaynerchuk, Yannick Silver, Anthony Robbins. We talked about a lot of big names in a lot of different segments and how important having their own product was. So for that alone, it's worth going back. We also talked about how massive the opportunity is. We gave you some real numbers around how big the digital e-publishing and the book market and the e-learning and all the other formats like seminars and consulting and membership sites were. Gave you some pretty big numbers in the billions. And what's really interesting is how that whole market is evolving towards independent publishers, just like you and me. So the opportunity has never been bigger. It's huge. This is the time to really capitalize on that and get your first product out if you haven't got that first product out. We also talked about some of our top products. We didn't give you everything, but we gave you a lot in terms of, what are the products that we've developed over the last 10 years and how have we built our own business, just to give you some idea of how it can be done and the fact that we have done it. And we talked a lot about who you should be listening to, and it is critical. If you're going to learn from someone who's been there, learn from somebody who's actually doing it, has done it. That's critical. There's a lot of people giving advice out there that have never developed their own product or have never developed a product that has sold. And those are definitely not people you want to follow because there's a lot of misinformation out there. And then we talked about common obstacles that hold people back. And we talked about two categories: the obstacles that hold people back in their minds that they think is going to be a problem and never turn out, in fact, to be a problem. And then we talked about the real mistakes to avoid that some people do make. And in fact, we see those over and over again, especially with people that we help through infomarketerzone.com. We've helped thousands of people through that site. And so we get a pretty good cross-section of the types of maybe obstacles in the mind that held people back for years in getting started. And then some of the real mistakes. We get people in that have tried this, but they have struggled in one or more areas because of some of these real mistakes. So that's all in Part 1. You'll see the link below the video. Today, really excited to dig into finding the market, finding your idea. So we're going to talk about, how do you find and decide on a market? How do you pick sort of a niche within that market? And then how do we pick a topic within that marketplace? And finally, we're going to end on this. It's a pretty exciting piece, is you're going to be able to develop your own 30-second product vision or objective statement. Now that's critical because that is the guiding principle for, I always talk about start with the end in mind. You need to understand what is your product going to accomplish for your customer in the end, and then you work backwards in terms of a plan. It's just so much easier, makes the whole product development process simpler, easier, and much, much faster. So let's dig right in and talk about finding your niche and finding your market and your product idea. Now, a lot of people have this debate. Is it, should it be passion or purpose driven? Should it be market driven? Should it be driven by what people are buying? Well, the right answer is all three. And, yes, passion and purpose is extremely important. You need to have a passion and purpose around your business. Look, building a business is never a straight line. It's never dead easy. There's always struggles. It's a messy process. It can be a messy process. And you want to, once you get through the first part of building that business, you want to leverage that and you want to continue to build in that market. So all of the people who say, okay, you don't really have to believe in your product, or you don't have to have a love for your product, or you don't have to have a love for your market. Well, most of those people are one and done people. They may create one product and maybe it's successful or not. But the fact is they never follow that up. And you talk to them a year later and they're in some other opportunity. They're in some other business and they're spending money and they're or they're losing money badly. So any person, let me just leave you with this, any person that I have ever known, ever worked with, ever coached, and these are a lot of $1 million earners, there's not one single one I can think of that did not have a passion around the purpose of that business. And that means a passion for the market they serve. It means a passion for the products they deliver into that market and what that product can do for their marketplace, and just an overall passion for the type of business that they run. And those are the three areas, by the way, you need to have passion around. You need to have a passion for serving the market that you serve, around the value that your product brings to the market, and around the business that you build, around what it is that you do on a daily basis. Now, I'm not saying that you have to love every second, every minute of what you do. Nobody does. I mean, there's stuff that you have to do that is just, frankly, a pain in the ass, and you're not going to like it. But it's that passion for the purpose of the market and of the value you bring to the product that ultimately drives you and gets you out of bed every day and gets you working on that product and get you through those low points. And that's what's critical. You have to have that passion. Now, is that enough? No, it's not. You need to focus on a desire that may seem at times irrational or obsessive, but hey, it's there, right? A desire that someone has to be, do, have, become something in their life, to transform their life and achieve a desired outcome that may, when you talk to that person and look at where they are and where they want to go, it may seem irrational to you. It may seem like a huge challenge, but hey, that's what's in their head. That's where they want to be. And if you can help them get there, tapping into that desire is critical. That's what's going to cause people to come and buy rapidly from you and give you huge testimonials and buy more products from you and just obsess over the solution and pay almost any price to get there. Okay, so you've got to identify that desire. And that desire, by the way, you may have a sense for what that is right now, but you've got to prove that in the marketplace. There's a lot of people that come into infomarketerzone.com where there may be, 20-year professionals. Here's an example, personal training. I had a personal trainer come into the program where he had done personal training in local gyms for 20 years, profession. And he had an idea for a product. Now, the challenge was, because he knew so much about the marketplace, he knew what they needed. He had jumped ahead in terms of what they needed, not sort of linking it to what they want. So he was so knowledgeable and had so much experience in the industry that he felt he knew better than the customer. And he would just he would jump right to marketing what it is they need versus what it is they want. Huge mistake. It just did not work. And he couldn't understand why. So all we did is we spent about a week talking together within the site and using the system it's available within infomarketerzone.com, where he went back and he researched the market. He hit himself on the forehead after the week. And he said, man, I'm just missing the forest for the trees, right? He actually was making things so much more complicated than it needed to be. All he needed to do was go back and figure out what was the language people were using, what were the questions they were asking, what were the frustrations they were facing, and what are the desires they really have. And then giving them what they need in the product is fine, but making sure he targets through the topic that he chooses, through the title, through the outcome statement that we're going to talk about in a few minutes. All of that needed to be reworked. And once he did, it just opened up an entire opportunity in the marketplace to him. And he could still use the same information, the same knowledge, the same interest and passion, but it's just all positioned in a different way. And that's what we're talking about when we talk about the desire. And then finally, number 3, we need to study what's selling and understand why. So when you come, if you're having trouble finding the desire, then go and look at what's selling. Go and look on Amazon and see what's selling, what's ranking highly in your higher level market. Go and look on ClickBank and find out what's trending there. Go and look at top selling video programs. Go and look at top videos on YouTube. Go and look at top blogs. Go and look at magazines and study the articles and understand what problem they're solving and what desire they're fulfilling. And that's really, all of those things are examples of things that are selling. Those are books that are selling on ClickBank or Amazon. They are top selling programs, seminars, and DVDs. They're magazines which sell, and no article makes it into a magazine. Magazines are one of the most competitive industries right now, so not a single article makes it into a high-profile magazine without being vetted for, is this going to play to someone's desire because I need them to buy a subscription to my magazine, right? So the intersection that we're talking about here is really this section right here, where your passion, commercial proof, and market desire all join, and that's the ideal situation. That's, those are the types of products that almost sell themselves. They continue to sell for months and years to come. And believe me, this is from our own experience. We've had these types of products where it's just, you do a couple hours of updates a year, and that product continues to sell over and over and over again, has strong partner demand, has strong affiliates that want to promote it. It's just a winning formula for products. So let's go a step-by-step process. So step one, you need to decide on the idea. So start with sort of 2 to 3 markets or concepts. Is it photography? Is it health? Is it a health-related niche? Is it weight loss? Is it maybe a personal development niche market that you want to focus on? Is it parenting? Is it relationships? Is it business or finance? Pick the biggies and figure out, is there 2 or 3 of those markets that really appeal to me? Either because of, I'd like to learn more about them, or because I already know something about them and their hobbies or their passions. That's what you need to start with. Okay, then you need to apply the following. So what do the audience or the market passionately and irrationally desire? You may know they're being irrational. You may know that they may never achieve what they're looking for here, but it doesn't matter. What you're looking for is desire. They may not always tell you, but you can always figure it out. And what I mean by that is, we talked a little bit about it, going up to Amazon, going up to ClickBank, going up going in to see magazines. You can reverse engineer what is already succeeding, and you're not trying to copy a product idea. What you're trying to do is figure out what is the desire, what's the demand behind that product selling so well. And so big hint, we already talked about this. What do they want to be, do, achieve, get, have, accomplish, tell people about, or show people? These are all indicative of an outcome that someone wants out of their life. They want to be lighter. They want to be more confident. They want to be stress-free. They want to do what they want to go somewhere exotic. They want to arrive at have their own business that frees them from whatever chains that their current job leads them to. They want to achieve. They want to maybe achieve another level in their career. They want to achieve another level in sports. Achieve another level in a hobby. They want to get things. They want to get a certain lifestyle. Think in terms of big things like lifestyle, in terms of major transformations in their lives. They want to have a more stable relationship. They may want to accomplish a certain goal in their lives. That's what you're looking for. Now apply these hints to the top selling products and figure out, okay, what is it that these guys are targeting in their top selling book, in their top selling ebook, seminar, DVD, home study program, membership site? What is it actually helping people be, do, achieve, get, have, accomplish? Those are the critical things, and that will give you a guide to, here's the idea, here's the challenge and the desire I'm going to target with my product. This is 3/4 of the battle. If you can get this down and find this hot desire within a given marketplace where you have some interest and passion, you are 3/4 of the way there. And I can't say anything more than that, because it's absolutely true. So it's not, and always remember, this isn't about the information, it's about the result, about the pathway and the hope and the result that you're going to bring about for that marketplace. That's what it's all about. It's what this business is all about. So step 2, will you have enough interest and passion around those areas? You need to ask yourself, so when you come up with those 2 or 3 market areas, can you live and breathe this business, along with the customers for the next at least 2 years? That's critical. You absolutely have to be able to do that. The passion interest will drive you. It'll drive your enthusiasm, and it will pull people into you to be able to push and succeed through this business, build momentum, and build attraction from people in the marketplace. So if you're not 110% into this, then move on, because you've got to find something where you are. That's when business will seem fun. That's when business you'll find energy, you'll find creativity that you can never find any other place. You'll unleash it. It's within all of us. It's within all of us to be able to do this, but you've got to find the right vehicle. By picking a product, by the way, that sells for someone else, often doesn't mean it's going to do as well for us. And you've probably seen this 100 times. You've seen people, just because some person has an idea doesn't mean that 10 other people can copy it real easily and do well with it. It doesn't work that way. It's because It's the intangible side of picking that topic and combining it with the passion, interest, work ethic, and drive to be able to bring that to market and attract the right type of customers. Okay, so what knowledge, experience, connections do you bring? You also need to figure that out. Okay, so it's not imperative that you have this massive network today, but any place where you can align with your 2 or 3 market ideas along with passion, interest, you can apply some either pre-existing knowledge, some pre-existing experience, or some contacts or connections to be able to drive the research in that product. That just gives you an extra added edge or advantage. And alternatively, how are you willing and how are you going to ramp quickly? So there's a lot of people that get into new areas when they get into a digital product business. They get into an area where they've wanted to enter a market for a long time. They may not know a lot, may not have a lot of connections, but they're just passionate about that area and they would love to just live and breathe it for the next month and bring their market along with them. That's fine. That's absolutely a pathway into this business. You know, if you've always had a passion for organic food or and maybe the healing properties or the health benefits of organic food, but you've never really had time to dig into it and study it in detail, you know, maybe a surface amount, but that's your passion, and you know that you can dedicate yourself to that for the next couple of years, and you love to be around other people that love that passion, and you like to solve problems, and you've been able to find a couple of desires within that marketplace. Well, then dig in, go at it, because you will become an expert in a matter of a couple of weeks. Where something, if you're in a field where you don't have that passion, it'll take you years, and you still won't absorb the information. So that's absolutely a path to take. And then the third step is to ask, what is the commercial potential, and is there proof that your market is spending and will spend long term? You know, does your market have money? First of all, wealthy seniors versus out of work young people. For an example, if it happens that you're targeting a weight loss product to seniors or a health program, and it's attracting the higher end of the senior spectrum, and they all have money, well, that's great. You know, because at the end of the day, you don't just want to sell a $27 ebook. What you want to be able to do is have a portfolio of products. It includes maybe a $27 ebook. That includes a $97 bundle. It includes a $1,000 or $10,000 coaching program. You want to go upscale because if you want to truly build an enterprise and a 6 to 7 figure digital product business, you need to be thinking in terms of a portfolio of products, and that means your market needs to have money, and there needs to be that top 20% that have a lot of money that are willing to and have enough desire to spend on this area. So think about that when you're thinking about the market you're going to enter. You know, I see a lot of people getting into how to cure your hemorrhoids and how to, well, great, you can sell a ton of $27 ebooks if you really dominate that space. But at the end of the day, it's very hard to move beyond sort of a low 6-figure business doing that, because what's the upsell? What's the next product? Do you coach people on that? And what happens when they solve the problem? What else do you sell them, right? So it's a very challenging space to be able to move up the ladder and to continue to sell back-end products. You've almost got to go, you've got to go adjacent, and you've got to sell other products. That's a much harder move to make. Can be done, but it's much tougher. Make sure it's not a one-time trend or a fad. So if you're a fan of going on Google Trends or looking at trend type data, then you can get lost in these one-time fads. A good example is diets. You know, if you created a South Beach diet, low-carb diet, which was all the rage, 5-10 years ago, people made a fortune with that, but it's gone largely today, right? It just is not, there's another fad that's come in. And so that product becomes dead for you, and you lose the leverage, and you would have had to have moved on if you're going to target that and understand the market, that it does die out every couple of years. And so you've got to stay ahead of the trend. Just be aware of what it is that you're entering into. And then thirdly, just because they have the desire money doesn't mean that they're going to buy it. They're going to buy information. So resume writing is a really good example. A lot of people 10 years ago wanted to get into writing resume writing guides. Well, there is money, and it does get spent, but it's on services, not on information. It tends to go to people who will freelance or create resumes or coach rather than on, say, resume writing guides or courses. So look for evidence that there's books, ebooks, DVDs, seminars, boot camps already selling in your market, and that will give you a pretty good idea as to whether people are spending or not. And then ask yourself about the market. Are they reachable? Is it mainly online, offline? Most people are reachable online today. If online, do they buy things online? And if so, where? I mean, do they tend to go to Amazon, do they buy off recommendations in Facebook? Do they buy through email? Do they buy, do they search out solutions and buy that way? This is just some initial research to understand your market, how they're buying, how you reach them. Are there places that already allow you to access them? There are already magazines, clubs, forums, blogs, lists, e-zines. Are there places? What you're really starting to get a feel for here is what's your distribution channel going to be like, your marketing distribution. How are you going to get word out? Are they heavy on certain social networks? Are they heavy on Facebook? Is it young crowd so that you can reach them through forums like Instagram and Snapchat? So there's a whole social side to this. There's an e-commerce side to this. They tend to buy off Amazon. Do they tend to buy off ClickBank? So this will help you understand, first, are they reachable? And second, how much is it going to cost you to reach them through advertising? Check through Google AdWords and pay-per-click rates, those sorts of things. And all of this is just important, really, number one, to make sure they are reachable, and number two, to understand, what should your price point for this product be? Do you need to bundle this to get a little bit of a higher price because you're going to have to pay a higher cost to reach these people in the first place? That's okay, as long as you know going in and you bundle enough to maybe make your product a $47 or $97 product instead of a $27 product if it's going to cost you too much to reach these people. Okay, and then do you have customer channels? Are there potential partners with established relationships to be able to leverage? Do they sell products like yours? So are there bloggers, influencers on social media that you can target, and do you see them promoting products like yours? Are they astute marketers, and are they professional, active, credible, and authority? Most markets have these, by the way. It's just, going in and finding them is a good thing to do at this stage, and validating they're there, and then also sort of taking names and starting to reach out to them and say, hey, I'm developing a product in this area. Really like to, if you could be an early reviewer. That's a common technique we use. Send them an early review of the outline or of whatever you've developed so far and say, when we launch this, I'd really like to have you on board as a partner. Maybe you're an early mover partner and they get a higher percentage of the commissions just to get them on board as an early partner to help you in your launch. And that's all within infomarketerzone.com in the 45-day plan, info profit plan. For digital products is, the last few weeks of that plan is all about the launch and how you can seed partners and get early reviews, early champions, and early partnerships to help you with your launch. So after you've done all this, so you've come up with your markets, you've found pockets of desire, you're digging into the product opportunities that are there, the competition, and understanding what's selling, what's not. And then through that process, guaranteed, you're going to be able to sort of narrow that 2 to 3 down to 1. You should be able to do that at this point, is understand, okay, here's the market with the biggest advantage. Here's the one that I have the most interest and passion around. It looks like there's a ton of demand for it. I see products selling in it. I have a pretty good understanding of why people are buying the products and what the motivations are, what the huge rational desires are around it. The next phase is now, where are the gaps? So look at the top sort of 5 to 10 products in that space. And those might be books, they might be magazines, courses online, Udemy courses. I mean, if you have to even spend a few bucks here, it's worth it to go and either buy the book or buy the course. Allocate up to sort of 50 to 100 bucks in making sure you get an idea of what the top products have in them. And the whole idea is here, this will always work. You will be able to find a missing link, either these products. And by the way, comments are great for this as well. Go into Amazon's comments against the top selling books, and you'll see people will leave comments on what was good about it and maybe some of the things that were negatives, that was missing or undertreated. And what your job is here is to figure out, okay, where are the gaps? Maybe they didn't, maybe it wasn't all encompassing enough. Maybe they were missing key pieces of the plan, or maybe it was too complicated and they didn't simplify it enough, or maybe they didn't give enough attention to one piece of the solution. So step by step, and we'll talk about this in the next lesson, is how you structure your product, outline it, and how you actually develop the content. But you will often find that maybe one chapter could be a product on its own, that they cover maybe 5 steps, and that it's maybe the second and third steps are the most important, but they don't give it near enough treatment. So your approach might be to go and actually create a product around that second and third step, retitle it, and just focus in on that part of the solution. Or it may be that they focus only on one narrow part and you want to widen that by adding a few more steps. The whole idea is to find where is the gap? Why is it when you look at that product, based on the knowledge that you have and sort of looking at the top products, what you will immediately get is, hey, there's 3 or 4 different approaches to solving this problem. None of them are all encompassing. None of them are complete. Here's what I'm going to do. Here's the gap in that. I'm going to make it simpler. I'm going to add 2 steps. I'm going to focus on 1 or 2 steps that I think are the most important. I'm going to focus on the application of it. Maybe these are theoretical largely. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to give examples. I'm going to give case studies. I'm going to show what the results are of using these things. And making it step by step, making it all encompassing, making it different, filling in the gaps and making it testable. That's the formula to starting to think about what's the angle, what's the topic I'm going to actually develop to fill the desire into the markets that I've already defined. I hope that makes sense. So I want you guys to head over to Facebook and link to us over at Higher Trust Marketing over at Facebook. So it's facebook.com/Higher Trust Marketing. You will see us most active right now on Facebook, as well as Instagram and Snapchat and all the platforms, but certainly Facebook's a good one for engagement, where you can actually ask us some questions. We want to get your questions answered. This is critical stuff. We know we're giving you a lot of information, and it's very powerful information, but you probably are going to have questions around this. And if you do, or if you want to pass something by us, if you want to pass an idea by us, then head up to Facebook. Okay, so now here it all comes down to this. This lesson, this is the most powerful part of this lesson, and go back through it if you've missed anything, but here's what you want to arrive at. Now that you have the irrational desire, a picture of your market, your customer, a gap identified of the existing information, and how you can improve on this space, you need to create your digital product position statement. And here's a good formula for how you would do that. So my digital product marketing business will insert the desire that you will fulfill. So what desire are you going to address for, and this is where you put your market in, and then this is the method of improving the gap. This is your unique differentiation and how you're going to solve it differently, resulting in, and this is the most important part, this is a picture of where your customer wants to be. This is the ultimate outcome. Okay, so that whole part of the outcome that we talked about right at the beginning of this lesson, that ends up at the end. Okay, so here's an example. So I want you to really pay attention to that formula, copy it down, print it out, post it until you get this down to a concise 30-second commercial or 30-second position statement for your product. This is going to be incredibly important in the next phase when we help you develop your product, because everything starts with this positioning statement. Everything in your marketing, by the way, in your positioning, in your sales, and in your product development is going to leverage this particular statement, this 30-second statement. Okay, so here's an example of how it might get applied. My digital product business helps unsure parents or unconfident parents turn their kids into strong achievers by applying the simple 5-step reinforced program, resulting in super confident, motivated, high achievers that mystify and impress their friends and relatives. Okay, so go back to the formula, right? So we start off by addressing, who you're going to help. I'm going to help unsure parents, parents that are struggling, parents that are low in confidence about how they're raising their kids. Okay, solving the problem of turning, low achievers and maybe problem kids by applying, and here's the differentiator, the gap, the simple 5-step reinforced program. This creates a bit of curiosity because they don't know, okay, what's this 5-step? That's cool. It seems simple. Reinforced, that's our own technology. We're going to talk about that in the next lesson as well, how you create your own technology when you're creating your product. Resulting in, and then this is the ultimate benefit, super confident, motivated, high achieving, mystifying, impressing their friends and relatives. So you've now got a kid that they're struggling to raise right now, highly emotional situation with a huge desire to improve their kids so that everyone's proud of their kids around them. And you've now given them a solution, a sense of hope. And this is the 30-second product commercial for a sample product on parenting, right? So apply that to your own space. It's the same formula, but it's a very powerful formula. I want you to be able to come up with your own formula. This is the most important thing you're going to learn through this entire course. Once you have this, you're able to leverage this in all areas of your digital product business. Okay, so what's your digital product positioning statement? Post it here. I've given you a link. Just cut and paste this and put it in. This is a very specific Facebook post where I want people to share, and we will share some others on here as well, so you can see it as examples. You'll get feedback and see what others are posting. If you post your own, we'll give you feedback on it, okay? And you'll get feedback from the group. Okay, so if this is valuable, if this information is valuable to you, you're going to find infomarketerzone.com extremely valuable. So like we talked about in the last lesson, this is a 45, this contains as a pinnacle, it's a ton of information, lots of templates, but at its core, it's a 45-day digital product fast start program. We take you through day by day, week by week, assuming that you're able to spend an hour and a half a day. Now, you can fast track it and you can go through this much quicker if you have more time to spend, but it's designed for people who are trying to transition from either another business or another job and work on getting their first digital product to market. We start off by going through even more detail on how you identify your market and get into the right mindset. We talk about operationalizing your business. What websites do you need? What platforms do we recommend in terms of setting up your core landing page, your core sales page, your sales funnel, and in terms of a blog and ways to generate content as well as social media. And how do you master that to start getting some early traffic so that you can build momentum towards your launch? And then we talk about getting the actual product developed, and we go into detail on different types of products, in print products, written digital products, into audio products and video products. We go through all of those and give you some real concrete examples of how we've had those developed, how we've outsourced some of those products, and how you can do that as well. And then we talk about the launch and the whole sequence of sales funnel and what set of steps do you take people through? How do you get traffic? And then how do you run them through the sales funnel? How do you get champions? How do you get affiliates? How do you come up with an exceptional launch within the first 45 days? Now, people have worked through this, I'll tell you, in a couple of weeks. Like, if you have more time to spend, this doesn't have to take you 45 days, but the 45 days is really for those of you who can't spend full time on this, or even can only spend an hour a day or even less than that, to be able to work into having your own business so you can eventually replace that job that's sucking so much of your time, right? So also on the site, it's full of templates. So email templates, sales funnel templates, templates around ebooks, how to make them look professional. We have templates on how to contact partners and affiliates that have been highly effective. We have tools and resources on there to streamline and grow your business. We have a bunch of interviews with high name, high profile $1 million digital product entrepreneurs where they share their secrets with you. Very powerful. And then we have the mentorship forum where you can get personal help and guidance. You're not left alone. You can't be left alone when you're developing your products for the first time because there's just too many questions. We answer a ton of them with the course. The 45-day course will give you a leaping head start and help you avoid any kind of risk and problems in creating your products and get you to that point so much quicker. But you're going to have questions, and that's fine. That's what the mentorship forum's all about. And we add new material there monthly, and based on our own business. You saw in lesson 1 how we operate this vast array of digital products ourselves in our own businesses. We have digital media side of our business, and we have the speaking consulting side of our business. We can help you with all of that. Okay, so if you are at a point where you've seen enough and you're ready to get started, I highly recommend you go over to this program. It's very cost effective. It's not designed, we used to only provide this type of service through $1,000 an hour consulting, and there were a good number of people that took us up on that. However, what we found is there were literally thousands of others who needed this, and we had to find a scalable way, an affordable way to offer this to people that didn't, that was effective in communicating this to a larger group of people, where we just couldn't book enough one-on-one consulting, and we had needed to do it in a way that people could find it affordable and get their product to market. Our goal for you is to get your product to market in the next 30 to 45 days. That is the sum total of goal. We'll do everything we can to help you get there. It starts at infomarketerzone.com, but by no means that's not where it ends. We'll help you. We're there with the mentorship forum. We'll answer any questions. We run frequent group coaching programs where you can do Q&A, all kinds of input to get you to the point of having your own digital product business. If you want it and you're willing to work for it, this site will help you get there, guaranteed. If you put the work in and you have the desire to do it, and you want to build yourself a 6-figure to 7-figure digital product business, all the tools are there for you and the support is there for you. Okay, so this is it for lesson 2. Okay, so we went through the market in lesson 1 and the mindset. We went through in lesson 2 how to actually identify your topic and your niche and make sure that you're in a business that you're going to be passionate and love, as well as that it has high commercial potential. And we got you down to your 30-second info product objective statement. That's critical. What we're going to do in the next step is all the product development part. We're going to talk about how easy it can be to put your own products together, starting with the outline and then working right through the content development and eventually towards launch. Okay, so we'll put the link for that as soon as we have it up. Hope you found this useful. Go back to that Facebook page and post your 30-second statement. Again, it's the most important thing you will ever do in terms of getting your business off the ground. Okay, until lesson 3, happy to have you join us. Post your questions on Facebook, and we'll talk to you very soon. Bye-bye for now.